Greetings, friends. Greetings to you from wherever in the world we are joining each other in this moment in time. I hope you are well and delighted to be exploring practices in compassion cultivation this week together. So as I mentioned on the first day, and as many of you know, cultivating compassion happens, the practice is offered in growing concentric circles. We start with ourselves, then the next category where we expand our heart is benefactors and dear friends, which we did that yesterday. We put them together, those two categories. And then the next category, which is a very important category in this exploration, in this growing, expanding our heart, is the category of the neutral being, And basically, this category is someone we don't know very well. And when we cultivate compassion for them, we tune into sense of compassion for someone we don't know very well. And the significance of this is that this person will become the stand-in for all of humanity. And this category, actually, some people find it easier sometimes than the other categories, even because we don't have any history with this person. So it might actually turn out to be easier. So you'll see for yourself. So let's practice together. Let's begin together. Landing in this body, and notice if you need to shift or move to be more comfortable, to sit upright. What does your body need in this moment to be comfortable? To feel grounded, to feel here. Feeling your feet on the earth, your legs on the earth if you're sitting on a cushion. Feeling your sit bones, your bottom on the cushion. Connected to the earth. And connecting, receiving the breath in the abdomen. Let us receive 3 deep diaphragmatic breaths to help us arrive fully and settle. Maybe breathing in 5 counts, holding in for 3 counts and letting go for 5 counts if available. Here we go together. Counts this time, breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Holding 1, 2, 3. Releasing the breath 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one more time in your own timing. Now letting the breath be natural, but continue to connect with the entirety of the in-breath, the pause, and the out-breath. Feeling embodied. And now bringing to mind, bringing to heart someone you've seen, you've met, perhaps you have even interacted with, but you don't know very well. This person could be maybe someone who works at a grocery store or a barista who's made your coffee or maybe even a neighbor you've seen walk around. You've seen them, but you haven't interacted perhaps past just seeing them or saying hello. Bring this person to your mind and see them as clearly as possible, or feel them as much as possible, having had this interaction. Maybe they're the receptionist at the doctor's office, if you're still going through the list to find someone. It's okay to have a little bit of liking or tiny bit of disliking. It's fine. It doesn't have to be completely neutral, this neutral person, but someone we don't have a lot of history with. A relatively neutral person. Bring them to mind. Now this person, just like me, their life is dear to them. Just like me, they have a very compelling internal life, the life of the mind, likes, dislikes, thoughts, Just like me, they have hopes and dreams, aspirations. And just like me, they suffer. They have suffered. Their body aches because they have a body. Their body ages, gets sick, has gotten sick. They've had pain. They've had loss in their life, just like me. They might have lost people they love, had disappointments, defeats. They felt lonely, sad, depressed. They've also felt joy, happiness, just like me. They're people they love and hold dear. And this being is an object of affection of someone else. Someone really loves and cares about this person. They might even like something we like. If we like particular vegetable or flavor of ice cream, let's imagine the two of us liking the same thing, just for the sake of imagination. Or frozen yogurt or whatever it might be, or food. We are not so different, this person and I. We're not so different. And just as I wish to be happy, just as I wish to be happy, this person just wants to be happy as well. They don't want to suffer. Just like me, they don't want to suffer. They want to be happy. And for the purpose of this particular practice, it's okay to use our imagination for a moment. Perhaps imagine them suffering in the same way we have if we've had an illness or disappointment or loss. Maybe we've lost a loved one and they too have lost that loved one. We both grieve together in the same ways. And just as we want to be free, we want to have ease and peace and not suffer. We wish them well. Just as I don't want to suffer and have ease, I wish you freedom from suffering. I wish you ease. Just as I wish to have peace and strength and resources to ease my challenges, I wish the same for you. Keeping them in mind, connecting to their image, to their felt sense, their humanity, just as compelling, their life just as dear to them, to other people, just as yours is. They are a dear person. And knowing that they too suffer from that place of goodwill and acknowledging difficulties and pain, wishing them well. May you be free from suffering. You have ease and peace in the midst of your challenges, your difficulties. I wish you well. Continuing to engage with goodwill for this person, compassion for this being, using your creativity and imagination. To create a sense of acknowledgement and connection. Without getting lost in stories. Stay with the feeling. I wish you well. I wish you ease. I wish you ease and peace as you face challenges of your life, difficulties and pain. I wish you freedom from sorrow and suffering. I wish you well. Engaging with compassion feels good, feels wholesome. Gladdening of the mind and heart to hold someone else with care, acknowledging their challenges. See if you can tune into it, as if tuning a radio. You notice your mind gets lost or distracted. Stay with the image of the person and stay connected to the phrases. Stay connected to the feeling of kindness and goodwill. May you be well. May you be free from suffering. I wish you peace. And the heart feel expansive and sharing its goodness, its good wishes, its care with someone it doesn't even know. Can the heart feel expansive, its own expansiveness? It is available. Sharing our goodwill with a fellow human being. Care for their challenges. And as we bring this sit to a close, appreciating this being who is me, appreciating ourselves for showing up, for practicing, for cultivating kindness, compassion, for inviting our hearts to feel expansive, feeling its own goodness, its own capacity for goodwill, and sharing that goodwill, that care, kindness with ourselves, others in the Sangha, and sharing the goodness with all beings everywhere. May all beings everywhere have ease. May they be free from sorrow, suffering. May all beings, including myself, be free. Thank you for your practice, everyone. Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Thank you for your practice. And just asked if you would put a word in chat about what's arising for you. And I'll bring a few of these words in. So many beautiful offerings, warmth and tenderness, neutrality is ephemeral. Yes, I'll talk about that in a moment. Just like me. Yeah, open hearted, heart opening, warmth, love for neighbors, a smile. Both of us, all of us, deep goodwill. Indeed. Thank you. Thank you all for these beautiful reflections as they keep coming in. Yeah. So, as we continue to explore the practice of cultivating compassion this week and the systematic way that it has been taught, as we start with categories that we're more connected to, better connected to ourselves, our benefactors, dear beings, and then we move to this category that we just explored in the meditation, which is the neutral person. Then we cultivate our care for someone we don't really know. We don't have a lot of experience with, a lot of background, a lot of history with. And this category is a very, very important category because up to now, the categories as we expand the heart categories are people we know ourselves, kind of. We keep discovering ourselves, but we kind of know ourselves. We spend more time with ourselves than anyone else. Our benefactors, our good friends, etc. So it's so far we've been in the known territory, and now the neutral person is the cusp. Is a very important transition to the next few categories. It's really the building block. It's the most important step to the next expansions of the heart. It's so important, this step, this category, this neutral category. And as we engage with the neutral person, which you might have noticed after a while practicing with the neutral person, they don't stay neutral anymore. Our hearts start to care, our hearts start to expand. And I have lots of stories which I have shared before, practicing with the neutral category for a while, and the person becomes so dear, like his sister, like I in a way that I would, in my heart wouldn't know the difference between who used to be the neutral person, who I didn't even know, I hadn't spoken to a word, and my best friend, my sister. It just there was no difference in my heart. So these categories are very, very, and it's not just me. This is the classical teaching, that actually I'll give you, since I shared this with you, I'll tell you there is a test, when we have these final tests, the final exam of practicing these practices of the heart, let's say compassion. When you practice it intensely for a long time, say on a retreat, or really dedicate your heart to it for a period of time, the test is, we haven't got to the people we have challenges with, but the test is when you imagine that this is from classical language. You imagine that you're on a trip and the bandits, and you're on a carriage. You're in a carriage with your dear being, dear person, and with your neutral person, and the person you're having challenges with, the person who's really pushing your buttons. The four of you are in a carriage. You're going somewhere, and the bandits stop you, and they get you out, and they ask you, okay, which, one of you have to give up. One of you you have to give up. Whom are you going to give up? And then in your heart, you try to figure out, whom are you going to give up? Are you going to give up yourself? Or you're dear to yourself. Your life is dear. Your dear person, of course, they're dear to you. Your neutral person, you realize, oh yes, you practice with them, they're dear. And then the person you've been challenging, you've had challenges with, also not condoning the challenges. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. But there's an affinity, there's a love, there's a care, there's a love. So you're not able to choose anyone at that point. That's the blossoming of this practice. But the point really is that these categories, as you might have explored, you might have realized even today with the short time that we've done this, is that these categories are ephemeral. They keep changing. They're transient. They're anicca. They're impermanent. We don't see people as they are. We see people as we are. So when we have kindness, compassion, ease, gentleness, we tend to like people. We tend to, it's so we, and we can cultivate. It's not just that this is the way you are and you can't shift and change, and this is the way you're for the rest of your life. This is the cultivation. This is an absolute cultivation, our attitude, and the way our stance towards other people. Neutral people we have challenges with. Again, I'll talk a lot more about that tomorrow. So we'll save that, because that's a very juicy category. And yet, this category of the neutral person is really the step, the necessary step to work to expand our hearts and have equanimity and peace and care for the people we have challenges with. But staying with this category today, a few other things I want to say. So So our hearts shift and expand. And the person who was once relatively neutral is not neutral anymore. We start to care for them. And as I mentioned, I know for me and many, many, many practitioners who I've interacted with, this is true. This is what happens. I remember once I practiced with someone who worked at the laundromat, and every time I walked by that the not laundromat, the cleaners, yes, cleaners. Every time I was curious if she was there, she was like, "Oh my goodness," my heart would leap. This neutral person had become a dear friend. I was so happy to take my clothes there. The heart is so expansive. The heart is so expansive. Who we decide to care for or not, it's all it's so elastic. It's so elastic. And another thing, of course, we realize that we're all the same. We all want to be happy. Us human beings, we want to be happy. We don't want to suffer. All of our lives, our internal lives are just as compelling to us. My life, this richness of thinking, or this and that, and the whole day I have thoughts and intentions and aspirations. Oh yeah, other people have them too. Duh. It's if we stop to realize that, realize how similar we are, and through that common humanity, we can have love and care for one another. And again, as I mentioned briefly earlier, another importance of this category is that that neutral person becomes the stand-in for all of humanity. So when we expand to all beings at the end, it's our hearts connect with being with this person as, oh yeah, and this person too, and this person too, and I'm not so separate from that person. So this is profound practice. And when I discovered this, I was not born a Buddhist, and I've discovered these practices, it's just my heart, my mind, I want to say my mind has been blown, but my heart has been blown. So powerful, so powerful. Another thing I want to bring in today is I had mentioned yesterday about the near enemies of compassion. And yesterday, I talked about empathic distress, or falling into grief as a near enemy or as a masquerader of compassion, something that feels like compassion, but actually it's not compassion. It's very different from it. Today, I want to talk about another near enemy, another near enemy, or another masquerade, or something that masquerades as compassion, but it's not compassion. And that is pity. Pity is not compassion at all. So the simplest way to understand the difference here is pity is where we have a less than, like, oh, poor you. Oh, you're going through this hard time. Oh, poor you. Oh, so we have this, I'm up here. I'm not going through this. I'm okay. And oh, you poor you. So there's a less than. There is a comparison. Like I'm not going through that, or I would never go through that. There's a separation, basically. There's a separation. You're separating yourself from the other person. From up here, like, oh, poor you. I feel compassion, but for you, but that's actually is pity. Whereas compassion is yes, we're equal. I feel your pain. This could be me. This was me. This can be me in the future. Or I feel your pain. We're not so different. This can happen to me. It's the sense of there's no separation. There is a kinship. There is a kinship in this feeling of kindness, of this feeling of compassion and warmth. Whereas pity, there's a sense of putting down in our minds, perhaps even not realizing. But look for that. Look for that when you're having compassion for someone, whether someone you care about, or someone you don't know. Notice if there is that kinship, that lack of separation. So I'll talk more about, so tomorrow we will explore the next category, which is a very important category, people we have challenges with. And in preparation for tomorrow, I want to invite you, if you can, for the rest of the day, to engage a little more with the neutral person as you're walking, as you're sitting, as you're going around. Just maybe imagine, you're sitting, you're making yourself a cup of tea. Imagine this neutral person making themselves a cup of tea. And as you're enjoying your cup of tea, imagine this neutral person enjoying their cup of tea. You're not so different. Or maybe you both like green tea. I wish you well. I wish you well. Sister, brother, my kin, I wish you well. So let's practice with that the rest of the day as a preparation. Really, this is the stepping stone to work with people we have challenges with. And that's a very juicy and very important category. So important for us. So let's let's try to engage our hearts in expansion today. So thank you so much, Sangha. Thank you for your practice, for your engagement, for the expansion of your heart. May you be well. May you be happy. May you have ease, and may your hearts know their capacity for brilliant expansion. All right. Looking forward to being with you tomorrow. Take care.